Iraq now stands at a decisive crossroads in its military history. After decades of relying on foreign power blocks, Baghdad is preparing to take a bold leap, one that could redefine not only its defense posture, but also the balance of power across the Middle East. According to Reuters, Defense News, and Army Recognition, Iraq is now in advanced negotiations with South Korea to purchase 250 K2 Black Panther tanks from Hyundai Rotem. The deal, valued at nearly $6.5 billion, would replace Iraq's aging fleet of M1 Abrams and Russian T-72 and T-90 tanks, systems that have long symbolized its dependency on external superpowers. A high-level Iraqi delegation has reportedly been invited to Hyundai Rotem's main plant in Changwon, South Korea, to review production capabilities, delivery schedules, and maintenance infrastructure before signing the contract. If approved, this deal would mark one of the largest and most ambitious defense procurements in Iraq's modern era, a full transformation of its ground combat force. For decades, Iraq's armored units have been a mismatched collection of technologies and doctrines inherited from very different origins. The country currently operates around 140 M1 Abrams, 73 T-90s, and more than 170 T-72 tanks, many of them remnants of earlier conflicts or incomplete rebuilds. Maintaining such a diverse fleet has become a logistical nightmare, with spare parts, ammunition types, and training programs all requiring different suppliers and technical expertise. The Abrams, while highly capable, is known for its massive fuel consumption and demanding maintenance cycles. Every repair or upgrade requires approval from the United States, limiting Iraq's operational autonomy. Meanwhile, the Russian T-series tanks, though simpler to maintain, now face critical shortages of spare parts due to sanctions on Moscow and global supply disruptions caused by the war in Ukraine. In other words, Iraq's tanks have become symbols of dependency, and in a region where sovereignty is often measured in tons of steel and firepower, dependency is a strategic liability. Baghdad's interest in the K2 Black Panther represents something far deeper than a modernization effort. It's a declaration of intent. By turning to South Korea, Iraq is signaling a shift toward diversification, seeking technology without the political baggage of Washington or Moscow. It wants advanced systems, yes, but also a partner willing to transfer knowledge, not just hardware. This pattern is not new. In 2024, Iraq signed a $2.8 billion deal with South Korea for the KM-SAM Chunggung-2 air defense system, showing that the relationship between Baghdad and Seoul is no longer tentative. It's strategic, a slow but deliberate effort to reshape Iraq's defense identity. Now let's look closely at the machine at the center of all this, the K2 Black Panther. Developed by South Korea's Agency for Defense Development and manufactured by Hyundai Rotem, the K2 is often called one of the most advanced main battle tanks in the world. It's a hybrid of European precision, American influence, and Korean engineering discipline. At its core is a 1,500 horsepower diesel engine that propels the 55-ton machine to 70 kilometers per hour on roads and around 50 off-road. Its firepower comes from a 120mm L55 Sienna 08 gun with an autoloader system that can fire 10 to 12 rounds per minute, capable of engaging targets while on the move. The onboard fire control system integrates laser rangefinders, advanced thermal imaging, and a radar sensor that tracks projectiles and enemy armor in real time. The tank's computer then automatically adjusts aim and firing solutions, giving crews the ability to hit first, hit faster, and hit accurately. Its armor system uses modular composite layers that can be replaced or upgraded quickly, combined with explosive reactive armor panels and optional active protection systems that can intercept incoming anti-tank missiles. Perhaps its most iconic feature is its hydro-pneumatic suspension system. Unlike traditional tanks, the K2 can kneel, tilt, or raise its hull, letting the crew aim from hull-down positions, climb slopes more efficiently, or absorb recoil better on rough terrain. For desert operations, Hyundai Rotem has developed a dedicated variant with improved cooling, dust filtration, and reinforced rubber components, all tested in conditions exceeding 50 degrees Celsius. For Iraq, a country defined by heat, dust, and uneven terrain, this combination of adaptability and endurance makes the K2 an ideal candidate. And politically, choosing a partner like South Korea offers something neither the US nor Russia ever could: neutrality. But let's not romanticize the deal. The challenges are enormous. Hyundai Rotem's current production lines are already running at capacity, primarily serving Poland's massive multi-billion-dollar order for more than 1,000 K2 tanks and K9 howitzers. To accommodate Iraq, the company might have to expand production or schedule deliveries in phases, stretching across several years. That would mean Iraq's modernization would unfold slowly, tank by tank, battalion by battalion. Then there's the issue of human adaptation. Transitioning from Soviet-era and American platforms to a fully digital Korean system requires retraining thousands of tank crews, mechanics, and logisticians. New simulators must be built, new doctrines written, and new supply chains created almost from scratch. And integrating the K2 into Iraq's C4I command network will take time and significant financial investment. Meanwhile, geopolitics looms large. Washington, though no longer occupying Iraq, still wields leverage through aid, training, and intelligence sharing. Seeing Baghdad pivot toward a non-Western defense supplier could trigger political tension or subtle forms of pressure, from delaying spare parts for existing Abrams to reducing certain forms of cooperation. Tehran, too, will watch closely. A stronger, more independent Iraq, one less reliant on Iran-backed militias, could weaken Tehran's strategic influence west of its border. But the symbolic value of this deal is what really matters. If finalized, it would represent the first time Iraq chose an advanced weapons system from an Asian democracy rather than a traditional superpower. It would also reinforce South Korea's meteoric rise as a global defense exporter, joining the ranks of the US, France, and Germany in shaping modern warfare technology. As Janes noted in its latest analysis, South Korea's defense model has become particularly appealing for countries like Iraq. High technology, rapid delivery, and minimal political interference. That formula could soon make Seoul one of the 5 largest arms exporters in the world and give nations like Iraq a new path toward military independence. But let's be clear, this decision carries risk. Delays, cost overruns, and political meddling could easily derail it. If Iraq fails to manage training, maintenance, and integration, its new tanks could end up like many of its old ones, parked in hangars, victims of bureaucracy and corruption. But there's a sense of optimism here, a rare one. For a nation scarred by decades of conflict, invasion, and occupation, the pursuit of technological autonomy is more than just policy. It's pride. The K2 deal could symbolize Iraq's attempt to rise not as a proxy, but as a sovereign force capable of defending itself and shaping its destiny. In a region constantly defined by shifting alliances, this move might even inspire others, nations caught between global powers who are tired of being chess pieces, choosing instead to build their own path forward. Perhaps this is what a quiet revolution looks like, not through speeches or slogans, but through engineering, logistics, and strategic patience. It's not about who supplies the weapons, it's about who controls the decision to buy them. Iraq's choice of the K2 Black Panther is more than procurement. It's identity. A signal to its people, its neighbors, and the world that Baghdad intends to command its own narrative again. Because in the end, true power isn't about how many tanks you have. It's about who decides where they move. If you see this not just as another arms deal, but as a reflection of how nations fight for independence in a world of giants, then you understand the deeper truth that peace in this world has always been temporary. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next story will take you even deeper into the battles shaping tomorrow's world. Stay alert, stay curious, and remember, the world never truly stands still.